What do you think of when you hear the word SWAT? Do you think of movies? The Hollywood movie SWAT? Very popular movie back in the day. Do you think of TV shows or things that you may have seen on TV that have SWAT or different tactical teams? So, SWAT was started in the early 1960s, and it was started because of the snipings that were happening, especially in Texas and other snipings around the country. These were happening to both civilians and police officers. Now, a lot of you may wonder too, what does SWAT mean? Well, SWAT stands for Special Weapons and Tactics. Now, you may also question, what does SWAT do? SWAT is basically a group of trained professionals that, whenever the cops can't handle a certain situation, regular, like patrol duties, then they call for SWAT. So basically, whenever the police can't handle it, they call for SWAT, and SWAT comes in and helps. Um, what does SWAT do? SWAT has a lot of different functions that they can do and serve. I've been in SWAT since 2012, and during that time, I've been in a lot of trying, intense situations that, had SWAT not been there, could have turned out a lot different. So let's talk about how SWAT is made up. Okay, so SWAT is made from selected members. You have a tryout process, right? Now let's talk about weapons qualifications and why we're held to a higher standard. Well, first of all, we're on call 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But let's talk about the qualification process, okay? So let's say you work for a law enforcement agency that their weapons qualifications is typically about a 70% for you to pass their qualifications. Now for SWAT, that's different. That is a 90%. That means you have to shoot a 90% before, while dumping rounds downstage. And that is after a very strenuous physical fitness test. And that's designed to get your heart rate up and elevated to make sure that you can still dump rounds down range and stay on target. And that's why not anybody can just be on SWAT. So let's talk about some of the different things that they can do. SWAT is utilized for high risk search warrants and arrest warrants. Now let's talk about what could be high risk. High risk could mean that a certain offender that's in the house, let's say he has a history of violence against law enforcement, or he is known to frequently carry weapons and or be violent. SWAT is called to serve those types of situations. Let's also talk about a arrest warrant, narcotics arrest warrant, search warrant. A lot of times SWAT is called for this because what goes hand in hand with narcotics, it tends to be weapons. So with there being weapons, you're already on a heightened status for making this entry into this residence. Now there's different types of entries. Let's talk about how it's typically done on one of these, okay? So what happens is the door is usually opened with what's called a ram. The door is rammed open, and then the ram is tossed to the side. Now, we can throw a flashbang in there, and what a flashbang does, it's used to disorient the people that are inside so that the SWAT team could get in and make entry safely and efficiently. Now, there's times that there's going to be what's called a no-bang situation. So the door comes open, you can see kids in there. We're not going to throw a flashbang in there. There's also other reasons why we would not throw it in. Let's say there's known chemicals for like methamphetamine labs. We're not going to go in there for that either. So that would be a no-bang situation. Now, how this works is the SWAT members go into the house and they clear it room by room to make sure that there's no persons inside. Once these persons are cleared out, then we turn it over to narcotics and or criminal investigations division or CID. There's also different uses. We could use for courthouse security. We could be used for like inmate protection. If there's a high profile trial going on or a high profile inmate that needs us to guard them. Those are some of the different uses of SWAT. Now I want to take the time to show a SWAT vest and how it differs real quick. So this is a SWAT vest. As you can see, it is a lot heavier. We have the extra mag pouches here for extra rifle magazines, extra pistol magazines. This is where the flashbang is held. There's a tourniquet in the back of the vest. There's a hook for riot cuffs. And if you flip it back around, you got to have a good pair of gloves. Gloves will help you not injure your hands if we have to do what's called a break and rake, which is breaking out a window to gain entry. These are rated to stop rifle rounds. The regular vests that patrol officers wear on a daily basis do not.